So after Terminator Genisys being on my Netflix queue for probably the better part of a year, maybe two, I actually don't know how long it's been there, but it's been there for ages. I skipped it in cinema because at that stage I didn't have a lot of money. I was kind of limiting what I could see in cinema. And at that stage, Terminator 5 wasn't on a movie I was absolutely dying to go see. So I skipped it in cinema, never seen it up until last night where I said, okay, you know what, finally I'll sit down and watch Terminator Genisys. So all I heard was bad, negative stuff about it. Didn't really know much about it. I knew about the John Connor twist that he was actually Terminator, so that wasn't really surprising for me. But other than that, didn't really know much about the plot. So going into it, kind of fresh, just knew the Terminator thing, the Jason Clarke thing, and the fact that not a lot of people liked it. So watching it, my conclusion of this movie, I don't think it's I wouldn't say it's the weakest Terminator movie because judging off Terminator 4 and Terminator 3 and even Terminator 5, I think this is the most cheesiest and most kind of over the top, and it's just, I think it worked for me in that way because it's not like Terminator 1 2, it's nowhere near that. But I would think maybe it's better than 3 and 4 just for the fact that it's a bit more over the top. Arnold Schwarzenegger, unlike he was in 3 and he's not really in 4, but he seems like he's having a lot of fun. The gag of him kind of smiling, which he enjoyed from the first, was it? No, it wasn't the first. It was the second Terminator or the third, whichever. He did it, the kind of smiling gag, and he enjoyed it so much he brought it back for this movie. Personally, I think he used it a little bit too much. It seemed like every scenario where it was just kind of the screams or the camera was on him, he decided to smile. But the whole element of Arnold Schwarzenegger having a lot of fun, which you could tell by actually his performance in this movie that he was having a lot of fun, just by the whole fact of him having a lot of fun, kind of made me enjoy this movie just a small bit more. Same reason why I enjoyed Terminator Dark Fate as much as I did was because of Arnold Schwarzenegger having so much fun in the role. It's kind of same kind of thing for this movie. Him having so much fun being the Terminator again kind of made me enjoy this movie just a little bit more. And the rest of our cast, Emilia Clarke, I think she's really good in Game of Thrones, but in this I think she's fine. She never at any point in this movie did she feel like Sarah Connor to me. She kind of just felt like a normal character who's been hanging out with Terminator for a few years. So in the movie she's good, just never really felt like Sarah Connor. Jason Clarke as John Connor really did not work for me whatsoever. Where at least Emilia Clarke, she worked for me. I enjoyed her in this movie. I did not like Jason Clarke in this movie. He didn't feel like John Connor at all. He didn't even. It continues on. Well, in a way, it continues on with Terminator Salvation with the scar on his face, and that's the only thing that somewhat made me feel like it was him just because of the scar. But other than that, did not carry on anything about the kind of Genesis. It just none of them felt like John Connor. He was talked really low. I never. Jason Clarke, it baffles me why they thought he would be a good John Connor. Just him did not work for me at all. Jai Courtney as well, another guy, wasn't really a massive fan of him. Personally, I'm not really a massive fan of him in general, but in this movie as well, didn't really work for me. Last kind of actor I want to talk about is what's his name? TK. I don't know. You know, the guy who plays J. Jonah Jameson. I can't remember his name right now, but he's barely in this movie. He's such a great actor. I don't know why they wouldn't use such a great actor like him. He's probably 2-3 minutes at most of screen time, and they just don't even use him. Actually, another actor who they don't use at all for it's probably less than maybe 30 seconds to a minute. Matt Smith. I'm a massive Doctor Who fan, so when I seen Matt Smith at the start of the movie, which I actually didn't know he was in, I was like, oh my god, Matt Smith's in this movie, and then I got excited to see how he was actually going to be in this movie. Little did I know, he had one other scene that was his entire scene. So I think Matt Smith, since his Doctor Who days, he's been struggling. Like he was meant to be in Star Wars Episode 9, never showed up in that. He was meant to be in Terminator 5, barely in that. So I want to see Matt Smith in other things. I'm a fan of him, and just I got really excited to see him in that. I think, imagine he's a Doctor Who. He's time travel. He's now in a universe with time travel again, and they kind of just wasted Matt Smith in this movie completely. And this movie has a lot of action sequences, but the thing about them is none of them are memorable whatsoever. Like I can't remember. Oh, there's a helicopter chase, there's a bus chase, but I can't remember how any of these action sequences started or how any of them ended. And I only watched this last night. And this kind of shows how unmemorable these action sequences were. Even though there was loads, none of them really kind of worked for me whatsoever. I don't know, they were fun, but none of them really worked as well. The timeline, it's kind of fucked. It's really fucked, especially in time travel movies. They are hard to do, but in this movie they kind of really dropped the ball. The timeline is now all over the place. Of course, they didn't continue on from this point, but they probably realized, where can we go with this? There's nothing we could do. So understandable why they didn't kind of continue on with this, because not only did a lot of people didn't like it, but where did they go from here? They said they had a trilogy planned. I have no idea where they could have gone with a trilogy, because at the end of this movie it literally is all over the place, and who knows where it could go next. Also, the kind of idea of making Skynet an app, it kind of makes sense in the whole element of 2015. Everyone was on about apps, but then again, you think of back to Terminator 1 and 2, and even 3 and 4, people are kind of afraid of the idea of Skynet, and then this movie, they just make it an app. It kind of makes it more of a throwaway thing rather than making it some big evil giant corporation that was very like intimidating in the earlier movies. Just to make it an app seems a bit less. It kind of reminded me of the horror movie from last year called Countdown, that was just a killer app. That's what kind of reminded me of Skynet. And you don't really want to compare a Terminator movie to Countdown, but that's the best comparison I could actually do for the whole killer app. I don't get a killer app. I can kind of pinpoint where I kind of lost interest. As soon as they go to 2017, that's it. That's when I kind of lost interest. Beforehand, I was actually enjoying the movie. I really enjoyed the scene when it was Arnold versus Arnold, and the Emilia Clarke shoots a bullet through the whole sequence there. I actually had a lot of fun with the way it ends, where they go back to 2017, or when they go to 2017. That is when I lost interest, and from that point onwards, I kind of checked out the movie a bit because it just didn't really live up to the hype. And well, I think I was half an hour in, so like at the back half, an hour and a half into the movie, or an hour and a half left in the movie, is when I really lost interest in this movie. But if you've seen Terminator Genisys, let me know your thoughts of Terminator Genisys in the comments down below. I assume if you're a Terminator fan and that you clicked on a Terminator Genisys review 5 years after the movie came out, I'm assuming you've seen Terminator Genisys. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you haven't seen it, it's free on the British Netflix. So if you do want to see it, it's on the British Netflix. But if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, you don't have Netflix, I don't know how you're going to see it. But if you want to see future reviews like this, click that subscribe button so you can come back next time. I think my next one, I've said it in a couple of videos now, my next video will be Candyman 2. But this time, I think it will be Candyman 2. So if you want to hear my movie review for Candyman 2, click that subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching.